Hello, Maharaji, and welcome to your show one more time. Maharaji, I would like to ask you questions like, how people do mistakes, right? And then they learn. And so, what does that mean? Is that mean that our life is like we are continue going to make mistakes and learn, or where one should understand, like
Yes, so like three kinds of people. There are people who uh, do mistake and then learn from mistake, and then there are people who do mistake and still not learn from mistakes. And then the third kind, before doing any mistake, they can learn from other people's mistake. Like, suppose if I am fully aware that fire is hot, I do not need to put my hand in the fire and learn that it is hot. So, before going through that action of putting my hand in the fire, I already am aware that I don't need to put my hand. And even the mother, while cooking, and the child is with the mother, and the child, by knowingly, unknowingly, want to touch the fire, because he don't have the mental knowledge, about the fire, the gundharm of the fire. So for him, it's only a bright light. He want to touch it, but the mother, being the full knowledge of fire, that it will burn his skin, and there will be pain. So she may hit him, her own child, but that's not the hitting dominating. It's the compassion, and it's just instant action. So that's how the awakened one lives in the instant, in the moment. Like as you asked before, that did you think what video to make? That's the prior, that's the mental anxiety a normal person is engaged in. But the awakened one is only response to the moment, because there is no prior mental activity, yes, no, future, past, future, all the time. This machine. Do you know that human beings have become human doings? There are no more human beings, and they have even gone worse than computer, because computer would think when you turn it on, but the human being's head is constantly lying down, sitting down in a beautiful garden, but loaded, filled up with the anxiety. And that the curse, that head has given headache, because it's only talking head, thinking head, calculating head all the time, and thinking themselves that they are a clever head. But when you oversee and be aware of, look at your own head, is constantly chattering, and it doesn't stop. It does stop in an accident or in a death, but that's what the awakened one point out, that Ram Naam Dhan Payo. Ram Naam, Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. Ram Ratan. That is within your own consciousness, the purity of the heart, which is always have been and is that's beyond time, and simply available, only turning the head, that means the mind turning outward in the samsara, in the engaged in the objects, become the objective world. Inward, the awareness, and then it slowly get absorbed like the very ocean itself. Outside, it can even drown the big ships and boats. Is it destructive? No. It's the person who is not aware get in that victimized by the storm. The same way, the life, people divide the time. They only classify the time, that Satyuga, Kali Yuga. But each moment is the Satyuga, being born, reborn. That means that when you jump from time, which is a prison, which is your enemy, when it is in excess, and then timeless, which is moment to moment, which is quantum leap, and then your life dimension changes, your quality of life changes, and you again reborn as a little baby, little child, but pure consciousness. There is a spontaneous activity, and it's not full of wisdom, but is wisdom itself, and is natural and simplest of all. Peace be with you, and you are the peace.
Maharaj, can I ask you one more question? People think it's like, do we have to do some kind of practice to keep our minds thoughtless, or do you recommend something like that we should follow or practice to do that exercise to keep our mind thoughtless?
The same thing, that there are people who don't even learn by committing and again. So the foolish people need foolish practices, not toward the wisdom. Wisdom is beyond the practice, but it tells that how big fool I am. Those practices that tell that, look, I am the creator of my all this circus of the mind. So it's not because of the techniques, but the ananda, the bliss is acausal. Acausal means irrespective of all the gimmicks, techniques, and time, because those are, it has habit of practices and techniques, because objective world is so indulged in that everything you need to make a video, a practice, a course. So that's why lot of gurus have the shops for them, and the levels of them, and the courses for them. But like, suppose if I will spend 100 kilo of soap to give bath to a coal statue, and 100 years, but it cannot make it white. So the same way, one has to understand the true nature of the Atma, so Paramatma. Then automatically you are it.
So you are more basically saying, like, techniques, practice are different things, but when you understand these things, so you really don't have to go through that typical technique or sit down or thing, but what you believe in, like, to understand.
Any doing is activity, is of the mind, for the mind, by the mind.
Okay, I see.
So doing is all doings, all thinking is something outside you. You are it. So how can you try to, suppose you are Prabhuji, you want to go and meet Prabhuji, how will you meet?
I have to take action, yes.
So therefore, unless someone knock at your heart, hey, here it is. So, like how the eye of the camera see itself, how the eye can see itself, how the nose can. So try to understand this. You are looking for the one you already are. So the more and more confused mind definitely get more and more confused, and there are another confused teachers who are ready to give you a very nice courses for that, and you are happy with that. So that's what they say, that उल्लुओं का सरदार महाउल्लू. So like there is market for everything. Market is already available. And there are buyers for it. So be it. But because it is too simple, because it's so natural, it's hard to sell it. Like the Ayurvedic doctor, suppose if I tell you a simple way of a leaf, eating a leaf, and that's too simple. How will you sell a leaf? No, you will have to make a paste of it and pills of it, and then go into the all American marketing. So, but those are the people who do that, and those are the people who love it, and so on and so forth. But remember that by the darkness, of the darkness, for the darkness, the person who is in the light, he will feel shame to participate in the ignorance. The people is kindergarten, all the techniques, gimmicks, because the life which is so enjoying, so musical. Then second level is music. Music, people start flowing and swaying and flowing because it give a break to the chattering mind. But remember, the Sadgurus, all the seers, they say that, look, we will teach you a new method, new music, which is not born out of any instrument. And that, imagine, they can show you the best music within the flow of your body in your physiology, or the music born out of thin air, born out of the sunlight when the rays coming in, and that what they perceive, hum, om, 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 in each article, in each particle. Why don't we hear? We don't need to hear because we are it. We are it. And the more and more the mind quietens, you start vibrating. The whole existence is nothing but the divine music.
Thank you so much, Maharaji, for all your infos.
Hari Om.